Smash, the storytelling game show. My name is Christine Blackburn, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. We're so happy you're here. Make sure you let us know you're around and leave your name in the chat. And also, gosh, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in the chat room. So let's get this party started right now. And I will introduce to you the Wheel of Stories. There are 12 permanent topics on the Wheel of Stories. There's also a space that says free. If the contestant lands on free, they can choose any topic on the wheel. And there's also 3 spaces that say audience. And if the contestant lands on audience, well, that's when you guys out there on YouTube and Facebook, you guys get involved and leave what kind of stories you would like to hear in the chat. And maybe, just maybe, one of our celebrity expert judges will choose one of them to be the story topic. So get your story topics in the chat room now. And we are so excited. Let's get the expert judges on here right now. Okay, you guys, this first judge coming to the stage, he's a comedian and a writer, and he's written for Mad TV and Mad Magazine, and you can hear him on the Nerd Poker podcast. And he's also the host of the legendary Lucha Vavoom right here in Los Angeles. Please welcome the very talented Blaine Capatch. Blaine! Hey!
Oh, hi, Christine. I didn't hear you come in. Hey, it's great to be here as always. And you know, we couldn't do the show without the help of some of our sponsors this evening. We're brought to you by, I can't believe it's not Fruit Loops. Perfect for people with Fruit Loops allergies. Made with real peanuts and shellfish. Can't believe it's not Fruit Loops. You won't believe you're not eating Fruit Loops. We're also brought to you by Nurse Pepper. Dr. Pepper will be in a few minutes. Christine?
All right, you guys, I'm thrilled to have this next judge here with us. He's a comedian and a writer and an actor. You've seen him on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he has a fabulous podcast called the Mental Health Comedy Podcast with a therapist named Jennifer Scolari. And I never miss an episode. Really, you guys, check out the Mental Health Comedy Podcast and listen to this. If you're a Sopranos fan, then you're going to recognize this guy. He played Tony's accountant. No, he didn't play that. That's wrong. He played a comedian who performed for Richie April's homecoming party after his release from prison. You guys remember this? At the Bada Bing, it was fabulous. He is my brother from another mother. We share the same birthday, January 7th. Please welcome Ed Krasnick!
Christine, it's such a pleasure to be with you. You always look so great. I'm here at a sushi restaurant, which happens to be my living room. And that said, I am playing for the Not So Proud Boys of Toluca Lake.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Now, our final judge, he's a writer who wrote on the Emmy Award-winning Modern Family for its entire 11-year run. And he's in production now with comedian and actor Kevin Nealon for his new show called Hiking with Kevin. Also, this guy is the author of the book I hold in my left hand. It's called He Started It, My Twitter War with Trump. Please welcome the very talented Danny Zucker.
Oh, wow. It's just such an honor to be here. I really, and listening to my resume, talking, I really used to be something. Boy, that name. And how are my fellow judges, by the way? How's everybody doing? How's Blaine, Ed? Good?
Beautiful.
Good.
Beautiful. The marvelous night for moon dance.
I have to tell you a funny story about, I was out and somebody stopped me and said, were you on Story Smash at the Improv? I saw you there. And I said, oh, was I good? And the person, without missing a beat, said this. It's like, did not acknowledge whether I was funny. Said, Blaine was so funny. That's what I heard. So in front of God and everyone else, I just want to say, fuck you, Blaine.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thanks,
Too
Danny.
funny.
You're welcome. That really happened.
The man is too funny. That's what it is. That's the problem. Yeah.
I was at Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf.
Okay.
And years ago, and this woman in front of me turns around and she goes, "Excuse me, Are you Blaine? And I said, yeah. She said, do you know Paul Tompkins? I said, yeah. She said, tell him he's my favorite comic.
That's great.
Well,
there
I
you
have
go.
to jump in. I have to chime in. I did a one-man show. A woman came up to me at the end of the show. She said, I saw Rick Reynolds' show. His life is so much worse than yours.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. We got a story going.
Yeah, whoever has the worst life has the best solo show. That's a fact.
Well, I have the best solo cup.
That's
is
right.
true.
And the best solo cup. Now, listen, guys, we are playing 2 rounds of the game tonight, and the contestants will be telling a 1-minute story in the first round and a 2-minute story in the second round. They are responsible for their own time. The clock is behind me. They don't want to go over their time, right?
Mhm.
Because if they go over their time, they're going to hear this.
It's one of those.
And oh my gosh, if you hear that sort of equipment smashing, then you know we're going right to the judges and your story's over. So
Mhm.
pay attention to the clock, everybody. And so you know, our judges are judging on 3 things tonight. They're judging on the time, on the story you tell,
And
the
evening gown.
yeah. And the ability to stay on the topic. That's so important. So you don't want to forget any of those things. They're going to be giving you up to 5 points for each of those categories, which gives you 15 per judge per round. A
Ooh.
total of 45 per round is the best score you can get. And then if you double that, what happens, Blanket Patch?
If you double that and you get a perfect score, we're going to ship you and 15 of your best friends to that little bowling alley up in Montrose, where you'll get a private concert from Eric Burden and the Animals, but no animals, just Eric Burden.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's just him. And it's just him doing stand up.
oh wow. Okay. I didn't even know
And the
he
new
did
stuff.
stand up.
And the new stuff, right? Just the new stuff.
Just
It's
the new
all his new stuff.
It's not Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood night. No.
Nope.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
he did doing some stuff he did with the vegetables and also some new stuff with the minerals.
Well, listen, good luck to all the contestants. And remember, we do fact check each story.
We do.
All right,
Our government.
I'm going to reach into the story smash can of truth and pull out the first person's name. And here we go. All right. Now, this person, oh boy, she is quite a talent. She began as an actor on and off Broadway, later joining many TV series like Newhart, Seinfeld, Wise Guy, Rugrats, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. And lately, she has been writing, and she's been writing a lot, including her first book called Odd Woman Out. I adored that book. You can get it now on Amazon or wherever you get your books. Please welcome the very talented Melanie Chardoff. Melanie! Hey, Melanie, how are you tonight?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, I know you've won this game before, so who knows what's going to happen tonight? Let's tell her what to do. Yeah, let's tell her.
Bing.
Spin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's been brought to you by Rice Pilaf. When you really should have gotten a baked potato, now that you think about it, Rice Pilaf.
Vacation. You have 1 minute, Melanie.
Okay. So my husband and I were going on our first honeymoon, and we were so in love, and we were so happy to be going to Prague. And as we got to the airport and he bent over to put a tag on my luggage, I saw it for the first time. And I got really frightened because, it was a harbinger of what was ahead. My husband had a bald spot, just a teeny little pink place at the very top of his head. Now, this catapulted me into a lot of fear for my own aging. I mean, it never occurred to me in this honeymoon spirit that we would ever get old. We felt so young and free. So I tried not to think about it. As soon as he straightened up, it would go away. His forelock would cover it. But all through the trip to Prague, I'm preoccupied with this spot. And I'm thinking, will I still love him as much? Will he still love me as much? Are we going to be each other's advanced care directive agents? And can I really trust him to know when to pull the plug or not to pull the plug? And can I trust myself to know when or when not to pull the plug? But anyway, when we got to the airport, he bent over to pick up my luggage. I saw it again, and I decided I would adopt it like a pet. and that it would be, something I would pet, and I would curry, and I would feed. I would slip pills into its food, hoping that maybe it would grow back. And then I decided I would just fall in love with that bald spot. And I never told him about it. He still doesn't know. I hope he's not watching the show, but it's one of the reasons I love him the most.
Wow. Okay. I have to tell you, I don't know what happened to this national.
Oh, there it is.
Sure. There it is. 26 seconds late, but it's okay because I love the story, Ed Krasnick.
Well, first of all, I'm a big Melanie Chardoff fan because my friend Fred Raker worked with you on Fridays.
Yes, Fred.
That Fred, the great Fred Raker. But I've been a fan for so many years, so it's very nice to see you. That's number one. Number two, the story was about something. So for content and staying on topic, you got to go with a 5. It's brilliant, and it's an actual story.
It's true.
And it's really about something. That's what I love. It's about love, and it's about love. It's about death. It's about aging. It's about youth. It's about time. It's about space. I love it. So 5 for staying on topic. The timing is the only one that we're going to have to take. And I'm only taking 1 point off because you're such a good storyteller. I am. I'm taking 1 point off because I'm a fan and because of the content. You don't judge a person by the size of by the content of their character or whatever that quote is. So I'm giving you a total of 14 points. Mel.
14 points. And by the way, all 3 of our judges tonight are slightly hair challenged.
Is that true? I am honored.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I love all of you. I'm honored to be among you.
I've noted, well, fortunately, I'm just like, it hasn't really kicked in for me yet, but
don't pull the plug on me. That's the only thing I ask. That's on my bumper sticker. Don't pull the plug on me. I don't care about the relationship. I just don't want any plug pulling.
All right, blank a patch.
You know who's always telling me that Rogaine works? Bald guys. I just wish I would just commit. I wish I would just like either go bald or it would grow back, like either go full riff-raff Brian Eno, Ben Franklin, or just get it back. But I can't. Thanks for reminding me of that. My interest was piqued with our first honeymoon. So I think that's kind of, there's a little a sequel there, I think, question mark. What was the second honeymoon like? And I like the way that that seeing his bald spot made it seem like you bought a car that you didn't really like after a couple of weeks, and you sort of were trying to return it with lemon laws. And so now I knew that you went over your time and Ed was going to take a point away, so I'm going to give you 15.
15 points. Blank patch. Okay. That's what he gives her. Danny Zucker.
I mean, I didn't like it. I'm kidding. It was fantastic. I was off put by the bald a little bit at first. I was like, but obviously I'm so lovable and only sexier. So that it didn't really affect me in that way. I thought somebody who's, I'm getting divorced, and I thought, way to rub a second honeymoon in my face. And again, you overcame that with me. It was beautiful, beginning, middle, and a little ways down the road, 30 seconds down the road, but whatever, it's fine. So I'm giving you a 14 also. 14. I can't even conscious give a 15.
Wow. 14. It's an amazing score. 15, 14, 14. That's a total of 43. Way to kick us off, Melanie.
And I was also a fan, Melanie. I watch you on Fridays, and yes, great job.
Melanie Chardoff, for Christ's sakes.
I know.
Yeah. When you think about Fridays, you have to think of Michael Richards and Larry David, and they were all part of it.
And my friend Larry Charles was one of the writers on that show.
Larry Charles. It's very interesting. Very interesting. All right, you guys. I reached my hand into the story smash can of truth, and I'll pull up the second contestant's name. All right. Okay. Now, I don't know this person, but I'm really happy she's here. She's an actor and a writer and a director and a stand-up, and she's amassed over 40 million views for her female-driven content. Now, she created and stars in series for Maker and penned a script for Super Deluxe. And now she plays Marie, a reoccurring guest star on FX's Cake. And during quarantine, she created Antisocial Distance. She never stops working. Please welcome the very talented AVITAL'S. AVITAL! Woo! Woo! There it is. AVITAL!
There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
It's great to see you. Do you live here in Los Angeles?
I do. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's very warm tonight, isn't it?
It is. I had a sweater on and it looked better, but now I'm like, oh, my bra straps are showing. You know what? It's hot. And I'm drinking
Often, by the end of the night, we're all naked, so we're all good.
Perfect. Oh, I didn't know it was that kind of show.
All right, you guys, let's tell her what to do.
Spin.
Ben,
That.
real.
Real.
It's been brought to you by Jack Daniels 2% milk. 2% milk, 98% Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels 98% milk.
Birthdays. Avital landed on birthdays. You've got 1 minute.
Birthdays.
We'll start the clock.
Okay. For my 30th birthday, my best friend flew in, and it was like a week before. She went out and she met someone. I was like dating someone. It fell on a fast day. We grew up Orthodox Jews, so you don't eat. But she decided she could drink. I'm not Orthodox anymore. She still was. I won't eat on the fast day, but I'll drink. We got so hammered. We both blew up the sort of relationships we were in. The guy that I was dating left my 30th birthday party early. We also had spent like hours. Oh my God, I'm gonna go crazy because the mail came. I'm sorry, please don't talk to me. He does not like the mailman. He's a cliche. Shit. Anyway, we prepared all of these mashed potatoes. We spent like a whole day baking potatoes to have a mashed potato bar for my 30th birthday. And then we were so drunk that my friends were like, I think it's time to serve the potatoes. People are hungry. We were like, fuck the potatoes. Couldn't be bothered. It was a disaster. We spent like the next week in my very hot apartment in LA, like on the floor, dying of heat and humiliation. And there's more, but I'll stop there because of time.
Wow, perfect. Oh no, hold back on that smashing. You're a little early now, brother. Ed Krasnick.
Well, first of all, Avital, you were an Orthodox Jew. I went to yeshiva. I'm giving you a 15 anyway, right off the bat. I don't even care what happened. But the other thing that I really enjoyed was your focus. You were very conscious, and you worked through your dog having an aneurysm.
It was a blessing because you're on my side for struggling through that.
You worked through it, and which is kind of like orthodoxy in some ways. And then you also were so conscious of time. I've never been conscious of those things, and that explains why I've had the career I've had. But you have a future. You have everything. I'm giving you a 15. I don't give a crap.
Thank you. Where did you go to yeshiva?
I went to Maimonides in Boston, Brookline.
All right.
Danny Zucker.
Good Shabbos.
Good job to you.
Good
So
shot.
I get like it's just difficult for me because I don't like Jews,
Mhm.
and so
I remember.
Yeah.
it's well known. I have an issue with my own people. It was again. That was like for me. Like I was going to give you like a 14 in that story, but the way you worked through with the dogs, like I have to give you like you did. You kept it together. You landed it. I don't normally give. I'm going to give you a 15 for this round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Blank a patch.
I wrote down mashed potato bar because I've been to a few weddings where it's a cash mashed potato bar. Those are all huge flop. That's really the only joke I could come up with. But tell your dog I'm a big fan of his podcast where he interviews the mailman and they do like this crazy thing. I don't know if you've got to listen to it. You guys have got to listen to her dog.
The dog and the mailman.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her 15 because of her dog.
Yay.
15 points. Holy cow. Holy cow. That's the kind of night this is going to be. AVITA'S total score, I even know what that is, 45. It's 45 points.
Thank you.
I know this is
See you in the
math.
next round and enjoy the rest of the show. See you in a minute.
You know, Christine, I was going to say it's too bad that we weren't the judges for the Chicago 7.
That's the thing.
Because it would have been a different world.
That's
And
right.
different-
That's
and
exactly
movie.
right. Different movie, no
Better
appeal.
Mhm.
Appeal. All right, you guys, this person coming up from the audience. Oh boy, I'm excited again because I don't know her. And sometimes I think that's a lot of fun to get brand new blood on the show. And this girl, she's from the South Bronx in New York City, and her comedy's been seen on many stages like comedy festivals, clubs, and fundraisers. What is this fundraiser you speak of? She was also a finalist on ABC's The View's Most Hilarious Housewife Contestant. How about that? Please welcome the very talented Debbie Baza. Debbie! Yes, hey, Debbie.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure.
Yay. Hi, Debbie.
Having a nervous breakdown. My voice wasn't that, when I was listening, it wasn't that clear. I don't know what happened. Can you hear
We hear you now, sister.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. If not, we'll send you a CB radio channel and we can finish up on the road.
Oh, okay.
All right, you guys, let's tell Debbie what to do.
Okay.
Spin
That
wheel. It's been brought to you by Kellogg's Ant Bran. 2,000 ants in a box of Kellogg's Ant Bran. 2 scoops.
Oh, hey now. Debbie landed on audience. That's
She's from
right,
the audience.
And that means we go to the audience and we get some of their story suggestions.
Oh, yeah.
Here's one here. Second chances. Interesting. Here's one. A solar panel for a sex machine. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, it happens. This happens.
It's not going to
And, here's somebody just saying hi.
Uh-huh.
Not a topic.
And
Okay, here's one. International travel.
international travel.
International travel. And what about this? Dream
Oh.
Accident.
or accidents. Or look at this one. Behaviors only done in private.
A lot of sick people out there.
What's it going to be?
Solar panels.
I don't know. I mean,
Bad friends.
I don't mind international travel.
I don't either. Have you traveled internationally?
All right. I'll go with travel.
Okay.
Perfect. I think we go.
I have.
Okay, great. Let's do it. All right, Debbie, we're going to put a minute on the clock. Good luck to you. We'll start the clock when you begin.
I got a bad
All
feeling
right,
about
and I'll
this.
see the clock. Okay. Well, when I got married to my third husband, we went on a cruise to St. Thomas, and we had a huge fight on our honeymoon cruise, and I panicked because he and I were widowed. And I knew they were going to come after me if he didn't show up, because you can't have 2 husbands die right after the other. So I was so relieved when I saw him in the distance, and I realized, who would believe you could get his big fat ass over the railing? I mean, I was thrilled with the water. I couldn't get over how blue it was. The water is really so blue and beautiful because, I'm in the Bronx, and Orchard Beach, I got to say, the water's like a greenish brown. So I did enjoy that. And I did also have a little problem with the shipping sale card. And I did go over, we spent a lot of money. And then when we were leaving, we got called into customs because we spent a lot of money with crew, with massages and makeup and things. And they looked at me because I had this diamond pendant.
Okay.
A lot of eyes lit up.
Wow. Okay, 108, Danny Zucker.
You're funny. So I like that part.
Yeah, you're really.
I like that part. I also like I like the way you abandoned the beginning, middle, and end structure of a story. It's just a bunch of stuff that happened. So that's, very bold. You sort of reinvented. And I got to take up a point for going over just a little bit, and a point for your broadband. So you got 13 from me. Boom.
13, blanket patch.
I loved it. A honeymoon
Thank
gone
you.
wrong, and then it was you're both widowed, and then you're like, oh, if he disappears, it's going to be on me. You already had thought it out. I love that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say that you had seen his bald spot, and it turned into a whole thing. I love the blue water compared to the greenish brown water of the Bronx. It was very vivid. And I love the glitching. It was all of a piece. 15.
Blank Patch. He's such a good guy.
He
Ed
is.
Krasnick.
Well, first of all, like Danny said, and like we all know, you're very funny, and it's a pleasure to hear. You're just funny. That's it, through and through. But when you said pull his fat ass over the railing, that was so familiar to me that it feels like family. And I heard that many times, and I heard the word ass a million times from my mother. Everybody's up my ass. I got a head like a tomato. I heard so many ass things. At any rate, I really love the story. I think it's a movie. I really do. I think two widowers, one is worried about pushing over a fat guy over a rail. It's fantastic. Okay, I'm giving you a 5 for the content of your story and the content of your character. And I'm also giving you, I'm taking off a point for your timing. And for your broadband, I'm actually giving you back the point I took off because it's the added value of watching Apollo 11 while you're watching a story. So I thought I was a mission control, and yet you're a very funny person. I have to say that. It's a pleasure.
All right, so we add them up. I think there's a 15 and a 14 and a, I can't remember.
There's a 15, there's a 13, and there's a 15.
All right, let's look at the leaderboard and see what Debbie Baza has. Of course, her score now is going to be added to her score in the next round. So who knows what's going to happen. And, there it is, 42. It's a great score. Debbie, stand by. We look forward to hearing from you again. And I have to say, I thought that story was like more, thank you, not really like a movie so much, Ed, as a Dateline NBC. You know what I mean?
Still shots floating by.
You can do a dramatization of this very easily.
I think that'd be fun. All right, you guys, we got one more contestant coming up for the first round. And this guy, he's performed at Flappers Comedy Club here in Burbank, California. And before he was a comedian, he was in the Navy for 20 years, traveled far from the Far East to the West Coast, and he married 3 times. Why not? Please welcome the very talented Mike McFarland. Mike!
How's it going, guys?
Great.
Mike?
Good. I was just at the Comedy Chateau last night.
Oh, great. And how did that go?
It was good. I was performed with Ro Del Grazi in the smaller room, and Felix went up too. So it was a good time. It was fun.
All right. Comedy Chateau in North Hollywood, pissing off the Ha Ha Cafe on Lancashire. Just saying.
Wow.
All right, you guys, let's tell Mike what to do.
Spin.
Yeah.
This has been brought to you by Lamps Minus. We don't have any lamps. Lamps Minus.
Yeah.
Breakup. Mike landed on breakup.
Oh, breakup. Okay.
I know you've done it 3 times at least, so we look forward to a good story.
All right, I'm ready.
Go.
Okay, so my first wife that I had, how we broke up is that we actually broke up over the phone. So what happened is that she didn't come home one night, and I kind of knew something was going on. And then the next morning, she gives me a call. It says, "Can you pick me up on this corner, right? This certain corner?" And I said, "That's kind of weird. Why do I need to pick you up on that certain corner? Just tell me where you're at." And she says, "You don't want to know that." And I said, "Just tell me." So she tells me that she's at a guy's house. I said, "What?" I said, "Did you do anything?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "You slept with him?" She goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, then you can walk home then. I'm not picking you up. I don't care what corner you're on." And then she did end up walking home. And as soon as she entered the house or whatever, I left because I didn't want to see her. And that was the beginning of our divorce.
Okay, that was definitely a breakup, blanket patch.
So, yeah.
Brutally honest, quick and to the point. 15 points.
Well, it's true. It was a great story, beginning, middle, end, and look at the time. What are you going to do, Ed Krasnick?
Mike, which is more challenging, being out to sea for 6 months or being married?
Married.
I love the pause. I love that you gave us the pause. That's a really interesting story. And you know what was great about the story is it was straight on to a point where this is what happened. This is what happened. I'm out of it, and that's it. Forget about it. And I just love that. That encapsulates a life and a relationship. So that's good. I'm going to give you a 5 for content. I'm going to give you, I guess, for going short, you don't get taken. Points don't get taken away, right? Maybe
Short
not.
Show's a good show.
It's a great. Yeah, I'm giving you a 5 for the timing, and just because of your service. And when I say because of your service, I'm talking about your service to marriage. I'm giving you another 5, and you get a 15, and I will see you at the pier. No.
15 from Ed Krasnick, Danny Zucker.
Well, I have to say, I was going to give you a 12, but now it looks like I don't like veterans. And so,
Hater.
what a dilemma. No, I think, I think you could have been a little bit more forgiving. All she did was sleep with another man while you were married and then ask you to pick her up from his house. That's it.
I know.
And so where is the forgiveness in your soul? Where is the walking in Jesus's footsteps?
Yeah.
15 points.
15 points. Another great score, Blanket Patch.
Again,
I'm going to give him another 15 points.
Oh my gosh.
60 points. No.
Perfect score. That's 45. Way to go, Mike McFarland. Great score. We're going to see you in the next round and hopefully hear about your other wives. Danny, Ed, and Blaine, did you guys know that my first husband got another girl pregnant while we were married?
Wow.
Oh, God.
I'm very flexible. I want you to know that. But I'm not that flexible.
Oh my God, I did not know that part of that. So that's
Yeah.
That's
And my second husband, I'll save it for another day.
yeah, I'm excited though. So
Wow.
Spin that wheel.
Wow.
You guys, listen, this is so great because we obviously have 4 very talented people here tonight.
clearly.
And we're going into the second round. It's double the fun, a true 2-minute story. And I reach my hand into the story smash can of truth. And Ed Krasnick, who's coming?
I can't see it, but now I can. Avital Ash is coming.
Avital, come on, sister. That's funny, Blake. Very funny. All right, you guys, Avital, let's tell her what to do. Spin.
that wheel.
That wheel.
Been brought to you by Misconstruesies, a dance club and a quiet lounge. Misconstruesies, a fight club and a place to read.
Mom. Avital landed on mom.
Oh, boy.
Oh my gosh. Am I allowed to? I'm like, I have like my mind goes to dark places, but then I have like stand-up jokes about stuff. So am I allowed to do that?
No, do story, the dark stuff.
Yes, but I mean this. Can I weave in like pre-written jokes or
Yes.
Well,
Just
you
don't
show
tell us.
us how you weave it in.
okay? It's just that I've already written it.
Make it organic, otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to lay it out to make sure it's not
Yeah.
cheating.
You're so honest. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, I'll start. My biological mom committed suicide when I was a baby, which I know sounds really sad, but I was a bad baby. And then my dad remarried. So I did grow up with a mom, but like we look similar, you know? So I feel like adoption. So people will be like, "Oh, you have a stepmom," but no, she's my mom, my adopted mom. She legally adopted me. And people, I think adoption has become very chic, but you want to get credit for it, sort of like with a rescue dog, you know? And I look enough like my mom, so she really did the nobler thing because I'm like not a flashy adoptee. Plus, I think they really could have given me away, which I know is like a little tricky because my dad is my biological dad, but like no one expects anything of the dad. So they could have put me up for adoption. It's sort of like in Bambi, you know, like Bambi's mom dies and she's practically an orphan because nobody gives a shit about the dad. And I grew up very Orthodox, as I mentioned. My mom's first language was Yiddish, so I spoke Yiddish as a baby. But then my dad didn't like the way it affected my Hebrew, so I don't speak Yiddish anymore. But sometimes I feel like my mom, I'll overhear her like talking about me in Yiddish, and it's like, speak English, bitch. This is America, you know? And what else about my mom? There's a lot to say. I remember I didn't really grow up with any music except for like disco and ABBA. That was the only stuff we listened to in the car. And there was a time I was really boy crazy. I guess this is a stretch in terms of leading into my mom, but these were like the only songs I heard. And a lot of my Jewish peers in middle school just like didn't hear any non-Jewish music. And I was boy crazy at a young age, and all these boys showed up at my friend Yael's house, and I started singing like, the boys are back in town. And then Yael was like, you were so boy crazy. Remember when you made up that song? The boys are back. The boys are back. I started make up that song. And to close with something else about my mom, she likes to dance. She's a disco queen. I'm a very self-conscious dancer. She did not teach me anything, sadly. And her mom just died. Oh, I'm out of time. That's a really sad note to end on, but I'll leave it. I had a story there that I could make.
Oh man, you got so much to say, Danny Zucker.
Okay, that first joke, "Bad Baby," is a great fucking joke. That joke rules, and you had a bunch of stuff in there. You're perfectly on time. So the only thing I would say on the story, which I like the first one but not this one, I would say is it did feel like there wasn't a through line for 2 minutes on your mom. There wasn't like the twist in the narrative thing. Yeah. And that's the only reason I'm taking off 1 point. But I have to say the whole thing, like those jokes are really strong.
Yeah, those are great.
Thanks.
Those are good job. So 14 from me.
Thank you.
14 points. Blink about it.
Yeah, I'm with Danny. That first joke laid me out.
Yeah.
Also, I think I would love to see a movie about Bambi's dad. I think you should write that up and get that to Pixar. And then if they pass DreamWorks, and if they pass, I'm sure Jash is back on its feet. I loved how you bookended it with death. You saw that you were out of time, and you pulled the ripcord. It was very professional. 15 points.
15 points. Ed Krasnick.
Well, Avital, I'm a big fan. I'll tell you that those jokes are stellar. They're really good. The Bad Baby joke, I laughed through half of your story. That's the problem. But I tell you, this for me was a lot like The Chosen meets Fiddler Off the Roof. It was very similar to those movies, a clash. And you know, again, I'm really hearkening back to Yiddish because obviously ich weiß nicht von gar nicht, and obviously I do, and then I
We just lost half the audience.
For the other half, like
They were just like, ugh.
let me tell you something: the 85 to 100 demo coming in strong, very strong. Everything's right to left in today's show. Now, so for the story, because it's very hard, like Danny said, to choreograph something where in the moment you do prepared material into the rhythm of a story on a topic. It's very difficult to do. So I'm going to give you a 14 for the content. Okay. I'm going to give you an ACES 5 for the timing, because your timing is excellent. And you have complete command of your time, which is me. I was a comic. I'd go on for like I am now. Is this going to happen? Yeah, fine. And then the other thing, I'm giving you a 14 altogether.
Okay.
That sounded like you were giving her like a 28.
I'm giving her a 28 in Yiddish.
Finding.
14. AVITAL'S total score is 43. Way to go. We'll see you a little bit later in the show.
Right. You guys.
Thank you, AVITAL. And now I put my name into the story smash can of truth. And the name I pull out, who is this, Danny? What?
Debbie Baza.
Debbie Baza. Yay, come on, Debbie. All right, let's start. 1, 2, 2.
Spin that wheel. It's been brought to you by 3 Guys Burgers. Fuck those other 2 guys. 3 Guys Burgers. They know what they did.
Holidays. We've landed on holidays, my friend Debbie Baza. 2-minute story. Take your time. We'll start when you start.
Okay. Well, the holidays were kind of rough in my house because I was, I used to cook the antipast and the pasta, and my mother-in-law, little Sicilian woman, she was like maybe 5 feet with 3-inch heels. She would cook the turkey and the stuffing and all, and then my mother would come in with her wig on and 2 flat bottles of a Diet 7-Up, and she'd say, "I'll sit in the corner so I won't be in the way." And then there was always a lot of screaming. There was screaming, and I would put a cotton in my ears because everybody was so loud. And my daughters were always like, "Oh God, when is this crap going to be over?" And then they died. They all died one at a time. Like my father-in-law died, and then my mother died, and then his mother died, and then my dad died. And then my husband died, and it was like, oh my God, I missed all the noise because, I loved them all. And I didn't know really how to have the holidays without the card game and the screaming over losing pennies. And, it was fun time. Oh, and then don't forget my Aunt Lily, my idol, who was married 4 times. I've only been married 3. So, I mean, she would come over and she would complain about my mother, and my mother would complain. It was triangling going on. It was just a lot of fun in the Bronx. And I have to say that I wish I could do it all over. I really do. I wish I could do it all over because I miss them all. I really do. I miss even my late husband, even though it was the loneliest time in my life, but I still miss him. You know why? Because I could fight with him. I could tell him anything and it didn't matter because he wasn't listening. And that's what I miss. Now with my 3rd husband, it was quite different. He was like a girly man. He retained everything, So the holidays, he tried, with my daughters and his son, but it was never the same. It was never as loud. That's my son.
All right. A great story. Blanket
Wow.
Keep going, please.
Thank you.
Really, it's so true.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say 15. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great. And just and then they all died. That was
Wow.
Yeah.
Ed
I'm sorry they died, but that was great.
I know. It was so sad.
Debbie, we come from the same family. You are so familiar to me. This is how my family was completely. You're a great storyteller because you have such a passion for what you're saying. And you are a wonderful storyteller. And we would listen to anything you would say. It wouldn't matter what you were talking about. And it doesn't really matter. And some people are just like that. Gifted people are like that. So I totally related to you. I totally felt everything you were talking about. It was like I was going home to my family. And I think that the title of your book should be Death Does Not Take a Holiday. Because there was just a mountain of death, an avalanche of death. I'm giving you a 15 because you can't not.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This is something that you either have it or you don't have it. And there's certain people who have this and you have it. That's all I'm saying.
That's it. Danny.
I mean,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That was a great, I'm from New Jersey. I know your family very well. That was not my family. My family was like, there was no shouting. It was all quiet mind games. So I always envied the people who kept it out in the open. Your story, though, it reminded you felt like you were like the lost. It was the lost voiceover from Goodfellas. Like you were just painting this world. It was like Lorraine Bracca talking about the family. It was so vivid. And then they died. I was thinking, she's going to they died. But the way you repeated, and then she died and he died, and it was there, and it was poignant too. It's like these people drive you fucking crazy and they're gone, and you sort of hate the silence. So I have nothing snarky to say. That's a 15. I'd give you 17 if I could. Not 18.
I think it's a perfect score. I think it is. Let's look at the leaderboard.
Thank you. Thank you so
Debbie's
much.
total score 45. Way to go, Debbie. We're going to see you a little bit later in the show. And I just want to let the guys know that my second husband and I, we also divorced.
Oh.
Yeah. And but that's because he didn't want to have sex with me anymore. And Why am I big all of a sudden? I got so big. Oh. Well, actually, there's no joke there. That's just what happened.
Look, we all
Ladies
got a
and
little bit.
gentlemen, I reach into the story smash can of truth, and I pull up the next name. Who's playing, Ed?
That's going to be Mike McFarland. But before we bring Mike on, I have to say, these asides that people are dropping. My ex-husband didn't want to sleep with me. Everybody died in the family. A tow truck ran over my husband. It's like unbelievable, these asides. They are the most tragic, and yet look at everybody. Look at the glow.
Look at the glow. Hey, look, there's a tip jar, and I swear to God I got tipped last week. I didn't even know if my Venmo was working, and it is.
Holy shit.
All right, you guys, let's bring on that contestant. Mike McFarland, come on, buddy. Hey, Mike. All right, good to see you dancing, brother. Let's tell him what to do.
Ready, Freddie.
Spin.
Dad. It's been brought to you by much ado about gratin. Instant au gratin potatoes. Just add potatoes, cheese, and sauce. It's a gratin potatoes. Much ado about gratin, Christine.
I love sauce.
Mm.
Mike landed on pandemic. We've all been through it. We've made history. Whenever you're ready, Mike, we'll start the clock.
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, so fun story about how I actually started in stand-up. So my son was actually doing stand-up before the pandemic, and he was doing open mics at the Ha. And then what he did is he came home one night and he was asking me, I'm having some problems writing this bit. Now, in school, when I graduated from the Art Institute of California, I graduated as a copywriter. So I have a writing background for marketing. And a lot of my copywriting stories I start off with marketing was I would start off with an interesting story to kind of rope you in. So I went through his bit with him, helped him kind of, restructure it. And then he went and he did it again. He did a little bit better, a little bit better. And then he went and he tried some other open mics. I said, this looks pretty interesting. I think I might. So I went to a couple of open mics myself. First time I went, totally bombed. Oh my God. It was terrifying. Just did totally horrible. But then when I left afterwards, I actually wanted to go back. Then of course the pandemic happens, right? And so everything kind of shuts down. So then what happened is my son and I, what we would do is every week we would challenge each other to write a 5-minute bit. Then we would record it on video. And then what we would do is we'd mercilessly make fun of each other, for like a couple of days because there's nothing else to do, right? So, and then what we would do is then we would have like a face-off for another 5-minute one. And then we would do that. And then my wife would mercilessly make fun of us because she was like, you guys don't have anything else to do. And so she would do that. And then every week we would just keep doing that. And then eventually I was kind of like, I think I might really want to do this. That's how I got started, like in stand-up. Yeah. And now I'm with Rodell Grazi as my comedy coach. It's awesome.
What a great story, Danny.
Yeah, I just, no one for me has summed up the pandemic that well. You let me see an aspect of it that I just hadn't seen, in that it had no part whatsoever in your story. That was my thing. But so even though you served this country well with that, it felt like that. I want to say like you veered off topic, but that would be like sort of saying that the asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs, just veered past,
Right.
So you were there. So for that reason, you're very entertaining going forward. I'm going to give you, I take off 2 points for that. You were right on time there. So you're off the story. So 13 points.
13 points. Ed Krasnick.
That's a good score. I like that score. Now, I'm fascinated by the fact that people are falling in love with insults in the house. And I think that's been, because usually, you're going to insult each other. You made entertainment out of it and are making a career out of it.
Right.
And that's really interesting. And that's what turns a pandemic into a candemic.
Wow.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. But no, so it's interesting to me. You're a very interesting character. I actually really would like to see your stand up. And I'm giving you just for a little bit of veering there, because we lost the pandemic thread for a while and then you brought it back. So I'm giving you a 13, just like Danny. I agree with him.
A 13. All right. A 13. Blank a patch.
I would have done the same thing. I would have started talking about me until I could think about something that had something to do with the topic. So I thought that was perfect. I thought that I was going to give you 13, but I'm going to give you an extra point because we caught Christine putting on lip liner. And I'm going to give you another point because I keep waiting for Danny to play that upright bass behind him, and he never does, and it bums me out. So 15.
That's fair.
15 points from
Okay.
Blaine. You're crazy, man. Mike's total score. What's Mike's total score? Look at the leaderboard. What do we say? 41 points. 41.
40
Mike,
fun points.
that's right. Fun points. You're a good dude, man. You're doing a
Swear
roast
I am.
battle in your house with your son during the pandemic. I think it's a good thing. Thanks
Yeah,
for
it's very-
playing, brother. I'll see you
Cool
in just
idea.
a minute. All right, you guys. Now, before we get to the final storyteller, my third husband, he
Wouldn't eat the poison mushrooms.
All right, you guys. The last storyteller of the game. Who's playing, Danny?
Our national treasure, Melanie Chardoff.
Melanie Chardoff. Come on up, sister. Celebrity. Hey, Melanie, how are you, sister?
I'm sweating it because I can't see any of you, so I'm lonely.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We see
Yeah.
you. You're
We
beautiful.
see you great.
I'm
We
sick
see
of
you
myself.
great.
I'm sick of looking at myself. I want to see you.
I'm sorry. I wish you could. Maybe you need another screen or something.
I don't know. I did
All right,
everything. Oh,
All right, I'm going to stop talking. All right, you guys, let's tell Melanie what to do.
Spin that wheel.
Oh.
This has been brought to you by Charmin PM.
Wait, what was it? What PM?
Charmin PM.
That's it. Love it.
Charmin PM.
Melanie,
That is
look at that. She landed on audience. Audience. So you guys out there in the chat room, let me hear what kind of stories you would like to hear. And then we will have our judges choose one of them to beat Melanie's topic. Oh my gosh, lots coming over. Look at this.
Darrow Igus. Tell Darrow Igus stories.
Second chance.
yeah, right. I could.
International travel. Behaviors done in public.
Private.
Private.
So wait a
Private.
second. So what is the topic? I'm sorry. I got
We're,
lost.
we're throwing some. There,
Can't see any of this. Dreams.
Oh, third honeymoon. No.
That's funny.
I don't get it. So is this free or is this? I'm getting.
No, we're going to tell you.
We're going to tell you in just a second what
What's the
you're going to
audience
be talking about.
Sorry.
What else we got out there? Come on, you guys. Give me some energy out in the universe of Facebook and YouTube.
You know, we can always do what we did with the other audience suggestion and repeat that. Do international travel of some sort.
Well,
That's
I bet
true.
you. Or dreams or bad
Dreams,
friends.
bad friends.
Oh, bad friends. Do you have a bad friend story? For 2 minutes? Or international travel story? Or an accident? Have you been in an accident? That's a good one, too.
Have you been injured?
My whole life is an accident.
Do you have a family?
I don't. I have my mom. She's turning 97 soon.
First
And-
Love. I saw this. I like that one. First Love.
First love.
Okay.
Yes, I want that one.
Yeah. Thanks
Good job,
for
Peggy
thanks
Kelly.
for thanks for throwing that out there, Peggy Kelly. Appreciate that. All right,
Right.
Melanie, when you're ready, first
Yes.
love, and
All right.
we'll start
My
the clock.
first love. I was a virgin until I was 23 years old. Don't tell anybody. And I fell in love in college with this guy, but I wouldn't go all the way with him because I really wanted to marry him. And that was the theory back then. If you didn't go all the way, you'd get to marry the person. So I'm holding out. And all the women around me are on the pill, right? And so they're just saying, what the hell? And they're doing it with just about everybody. So I had to use all my wiles and guiles to keep Ernest enticed. So we had to split up for this summer to go to summer stock. And he went off to do a star package in Cape Cod. And I was the lead and playing ingenues in some summer stock company. And we were writing each other every day with kisses and teardrops on the letters. I mean, we were incredibly silly young people. And then his letters got thinner and thinner, and there were less and less, and there were no tear stains on them, and there was no lipstick from me on them. We just kind of petered out in 2 months, and I thought, how could this be? We're so in love. And so I came back to college, and I kept expecting him to call me or something, and he didn't. And so one day I'm walking to my Shakespeare class, and I see him, but he's no longer the Ernest I knew and loved. Now he's got like long hippie hair. He looks like somebody in the musical Hair. And he's smoking a joint. Ernest, my Romeo, the guy I did all the Shakespeare with. And it turned out that Julie Newmar had seduced him while he was pulling the curtain on the show, the star package. And she put her hands down his pants, and that was the end. So I realized that fame trumped my virginity, that I couldn't keep him enticed with my virginity. Fame was in the package. And so that's why I decided I'd better get to be famous so I could win him back. So I started straining and striving to get famous, but by then I'd forgotten about him and was in love with somebody else. So it didn't work out with Ernest, and I didn't lose my virginity until I was 24, and that's the end of that story.
Wow.
Wow. A great story, Blanca.
I don't know.
Holy shit, that was great.
Great story.
To your Wang, thanks for everything. Love, Julie Newmar. That's the only joke I could really get out of it. That was fantastic. I love how you knew exactly where you were going and took us there. 15 points.
15 points. Ed Krasnick.
That was a great. You really brought me back to that place with that story. It was so well told and and felt. You know, I experienced it, and now that I've experienced it, I really have nothing to live for. But that's okay. That's okay, because you're a good story. You're such a great storyteller. I'm going to give you a 15, and I'm going to say that Catwoman can go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you, Melanie? Question from the audience. Where is Ernest now?
He's in Florida. He's a car dealer. We spoke about that.
Is he the guy out in front of the thing like he's inflatable and is
He's married. He has 4 kids. I was hoping to get him, but he's already married with 4 kids, so I missed my own.
You dodged a bullet, sister.
Here's the theme: always be closing. Always be closing.
Always be closing.
Okay.
I was closing, all right. I was closing my legs.
Yeah, that they should teach that story in storytelling class. You just I was like first love, all of that. You came in beginning, middle, end. Jesus Christ, you're skilled at that. That was just you were just completely. It was really, it was good. Just like even if you told a shitty story, and the punchline was you were cock blocked by Julie Newmar.
Right.
That would get you to 14.
Yeah.
No matter what. And she wasn't even the best Catwoman. She wasn't even one of the 3 best. There's only Eartha Kitt for me.
Cloris Leachman. You can't beat Cloris Leachman.
But so 15, and again, I would give you more if I could.
Okay. Another great score. I'm just sure of it. Melanie's total score. Look at that, 45. We're going to bring all the contestants back on the screen now. And while we bring on the contestants, Ed, Danny, or Blaine, do any of you have a first love story you could share with us?
No. I'm still waiting.
I mean, it wouldn't be
not with my wife on the couch. No.
Ed Krasnick, come on. You got a first love?
I was in love with someone who turned out was dating a guy who was 5 years older, and we were very young, like 14. So she's dating a 19-year-old. So that was a problem for me. And I did not come out of my house for 6 months, basically. I was so depressed. I had cold cream on my face. I looked like it was crazy. I had cucumbers on my eyes. I wouldn't come out.
Stories. Yeah. Danny?
Quick one. So I lost my virginity. I was younger than you. I was in high school, and I had a nosebleed during the first time I had sex.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no. What did you say? What did you say?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know. I'm like looking down at her boobs, and I'm like, "Oh, is she bleeding? Oh no, I'm bleeding." I apologize. I mean, look, the sex wasn't that long. It was about, the fact that I had time to nosebleed in the first time I had sex was rather impressive.
I'm sorry, this never happens. You're just so pretty.
Yeah, my nose came first.
Ew, that's so gross.
fantastic.
Oh God.
It's like Carrie.
All right, there's Debbie Baza. All right, great to have you, Debbie. We can't really see your eyes.
Hey, by the way, tonight was really great. All the stories were a lot of fun.
Amazing.
One of the better ones.
Like some of the best stories I've ever heard. Every person, fantastic.
Every person was
In a
awesome,
normal week, you'd all be winners.
as were the judges were awesome. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. And by the way, the winner's going to get $10 tomorrow via me, Venmo. Don't spend it all in one place. All right. Yes, I got tipped last week. We know this. I know. There's begging and then there's begging. Let's look at the leaderboard. Let's look at the leaderboard.
So
Mike's total score 86. Mike McFarland, we love you. We love you playing 86. It was a good score. Thank you.
That's a winning score most weeks.
Really, definitely. And Debbie's score, look at that. It's coming up. Debbie Baza, she's got 87. 87. And let me tell you something. If her internet was better, I could see a straight up 90. That's what I could
do.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so Mike is 86.
Just left.
Next comes Dana.
Talking about her internet. Like, fuck this.
Yeah. Doesn't need it from us.
Melody's total score 88. 88, a great score from Melanie. Chart up. And Avital, oh my God, Avital also has 88. You guys, we're going to a spin-off.
Spin-off.
Is it going to be mod? Mod. Let's do mod. Please, mod.
Right now, I'm going to put
Rhoda?
both of your names in the Story Smash Can of Truth. And we're going to pull out your names for another spin of the wheel, another true 1 minute story. And look at that. Mike McFarland, you have fans.
Yes.
That's great.
All right, so everybody off the screen except for the judges, Avital and Melanie, and we're doing this. This is exciting.
Let's do
Two
it.
names.
Two names, 1 minute story.
Smash Can of Truth. Danny Zucker, who's coming up first?
Me.
Avital Ash.
All right, so Avital, what to do?
The Sudden Death Round brought to you, made possible by TBS, Turner Bowel Syndrome.
Holidays. Did you land on holidays before, Avital?
I did not.
Okay, well, now you landed on it. True 1 minute story. Think about it. Take your time. We can bring everybody back on screen if you'd like, producer. Bring everybody back on screen. Let's all enjoy this last round. Avital, holiday.
All right. I got something. I'm in a relationship, and this is the first time that my parents have met like a significant other's parents. So we did it was Hanukkah. And my parents, my brother were in town, and we prepared a whole meal. And my partner's parents are Israeli, and the mom in particular is like very commandeering and controlling, and just like doesn't trust us to do shit apparently. So we cleaned the house and like made some really good food, and then Rivka, his mom, arrives with an entire backup dinner, like in case we fucked up everything. We're like, here, you put this in the oven, and then you serve that, and like more salads. And then she at least complimented my food, which was nice. But like a straight up full backup dinner. Luckily, the parents sort of jived. My dad was like smoking cigars in the background. The whole thing was very embarrassing. But we had 2 dinners for this awful Hanukkah holiday.
All right, look at that. Great score. 58 seconds, middle, ending, beginning, middle, all of them. Ed Krasnick.
Well, I just love the term backup dinner. I think that's such a great term. I love that. I'm going to use that. Backup dinner. No, you're just a really interesting storyteller, and you're obviously a brilliant writer. So it's really fun to listen to you. You know, I mean, I don't know what to say about that except 15. It's very interesting because I felt it again. You took me to a place. You took me to a place and time, and I was there. So that's great storytelling.
It's an honor.
We're all on a journey, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Blanket patch.
I have a backup dinner at all times. I have one in my car in case. I've had a bucket of chicken in my trunk for weeks.
Oh no.
15.
Thank you.
15, Danny Zucker.
Very good story. I mean, I found one part of it a little unbelievable, and I'll just say, like, you're saying like a pushy Israeli. But I do not. That did not. My stepfather was Israeli, and I just I can't imagine that. So while you strain credulity, the full story. 15.
15 points. What are you going to do? She's fantastic. Way to play, Avital. And now the final story of the night comes from the incredible Melanie Chardoff. Melanie! You've got one full minute.
This has been brought to you by Crazy Glue Band-Aids. They're not going anywhere. Crazy Glue Band-Aids.
Holly Weird. Oh, man, I bet she has a story. Holly Weird, Melanie, whenever you're ready. 1 minute. Take your time, and we'll start the clock whenever you begin.
So the first time I came out to Hollyweird, I didn't know anything about the town. I was here to audition for a television show and meet an agent, and I was desperate. I was like 24, and I knew nothing. So I just picked a hotel out of a hat and ended up at the Hollywood Hotel, which was next to the Scientology Center at Highland and Boulevard. And so I got in on the red eye, and I slept for a few hours, and then I just burst out of the grubby lobby and into this sea of religious fanatics. There were Christian Scientists, there were Hare Krishna, there were Scientologists, everybody threatening me with damnation and Christ, especially because I was a Jew, I was going to go to hell. So the Scientologists were offering a free brunch, so I went there for the croissants. And, you know, they served a damn good breakfast. So I became a Scientologist and became one of the Hollyweirds. And I got the job on the Smothers Brothers show as the organic primetime space astrologist. I wore a banner and a bathing suit, and I made a lot of money.
That's amazing.
Wow. Oh my God. It's a perfect story. 1 minute long.
All true. All true.
Interesting. That is so interesting. Danny Zucker.
I mean, holy Xenu. That is like one of the great. That's just you put me right back there, coming off off the terms. That could have been Mulholland Drive.
Yeah,
like the fantasy first half of it, what you just described.
Right.
15, no questions asked. 15.
No questions asked. Blanket patch.
I loved it. I love the fact that that Scientology existed at the same time as the Smothers Brothers. It's like finding out that there's still like Civil War survivors or something. Like it's this is the President Cleveland's daughter. What? Huh? What? I had no idea that they existed at the same time. And working on the Smothers Brothers, that's fantastic. I have an 8-year-old kid, and he asked me who they were today because they were on The Simpsons. You know what? I could pick some. It was actually more about Hollywood, not Hollyweird. But I'm going to give it 17,000 million points.
Ed Krasnick.
Well, what's so funny is that is the experience. Even if you're not, I mean, you're on the Smothers Brothers. That's like a different level. Yeah. But the experience of the clash between crazy, religious, celebrity, weird things that happen here is amazing. I had a girlfriend who did the Scientology thing I don't know why she did it, but she was on a niacin fast, and they put her on a treadmill every day, and she'd call me from there. She'd say, people are weird here. I'm on a niacin fast. I don't know. Anyway, it was weird. But you were on the Smothers Brothers show, and that makes you a legend right there. You don't have to do anything else. But you did. It doesn't matter. You're on the Smothers Brothers show. I mean, this is a great gig, for first coming here. So I'm giving you, again, total being transported to a place and a time. And that's what a great storyteller is. You have an experience. You experience something. It's not listening. It's you're taken someplace. So anyway, 15,000.
Oh, I gotta tell you, sometimes here on Story Smash, it just happens. Melanie's total score is 45, and AVITAL'S stories, her score, I believe, 45. Melanie and AVITAL, what are you gonna do?
Trial by combat. Trial by combat. Trial by combat.
Well, the only bad thing coming out of this is I'm out $10, but who cares? Because you ladies rock. Thank you so much for playing. Mike McFarland, Debbie Gaza, Ash, Melanie Chardoff, Ed Krasnick, take it back, Jesus Christ. We're going to be back next week, and then guess what? We're changing formats. What's going to happen? I don't know, but something's going to change, and we'll see you then. See you next Friday. Congratulations. Melanie Chardoff, AVITAL, Ash, my name's Kristen Becker. Good night.
Yes, the Story Smash. Stay at House of Pies after they close. Nobody knows we're there. House of Pies.
Amazing.